Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Soaring Through Chaos. And as I said before, the reason we have these sessions is because we want to support each other to understand how do we deal with the crisis that we are in, or possibly crisis in future. And there's always the alternative of taking a road less taken. And with me today are Brinda and Vivek Shah. We were actually going to get a tax consultation on international taxes when my wife and I had just moved back to India for a short while. And the person we were consulting for taxes was worried that his son and daughter-in-law are giving up all these, high-tech and professional careers and wanted to go and settle in a small village. And that's Brinda and Vivek. So Brinda, tell me about it. We met you in Ahmedabad, and then of course I came to your farm twice. You have been doing this amazing thing called Vrindavan, which I think was your dream, and it's happening in a big way. What made you give up the aspirations many people have of settling down in corporate America or in startup America and come back to India and to do this organic farming and all? What was the compelling reason?
So basically, after I got married to Vivek, I moved to America. I was looking for jobs. So basically, I wanted to study more. So first, I was looking to study something. We found out about this course named permaculture on the internet. So me and Vivek always wanted to stay in the nature and work with the nature always. So even Vivek was very tired of his job, and he also wanted to leave his job and do something related to nature always. So we started looking at the videos on the internet about the nature, all the courses they have uh, in America and all over the world. So we found out permaculture. We studied permaculture, and then Vivek always wanted to come back to India to stay with our parents. He never wanted to settle down there. He always wanted to come back. So we both decided to come back and stay with our parents and our grandparents so that we can spend more time with them. So we told our parents. So in the beginning, they were very shocked. They were like, how will you survive after doing farming? Nobody survives after doing farming in India. You know the whole scenario.
Yes, yes.
So in the beginning, everybody was like, I had the green card. I surrendered my green card. Everybody was shocked that how can you surrender your green card? I had I never wanted to stay there. So after moving back, we struggled for a year. We looked for a land. So we had a friend, a doctor uncle, who gave us his land to work. We worked there on our own for a year. So everything, all the work was done by us for a year. And then during that year, we were also looking for a land side by side. So we found this beautiful place called, in a village called Chaklasi. It was a really huge farm. All the farming was done chemically over there. So from the day we bought the land, we decided not to use any chemical on the land. So from the day one, we have not used a single chemical on the land. And since 3 years, we are doing this farming, and we are still exploring many things with that and other work. We also do other work in Ahmedabad also now with
Wow.
farming.
So, Brinda, I know that before you went to the United States, you were at one of the amazing places, which is Baroda Fine Arts. And I currently live in Baroda. Baroda Fine Arts is by far one of the best in fine arts in India. Have you been able to use that? I know you also studied in the US, right? continued studying
Yes.
about art. Have you been able to put that into practice where you're working now on the farm in the village?
Actually, totally stopped working after started farming, but uh, before and last month my HOD actually called me and my friend, one of my friend Rajat, to work and to teach the course. So there's this alternative photographic technique called gum bichromate, which was taught to us by one of our teacher who came to US on Fulbright scholarship. So actually worked after 5 years in my college and taught the students of foundation year. So technically I stopped working for 5 years after I left the college, and I worked again last year because of my dean, and he gave the opportunity to us. So yes, I try to work as much as I can, but I think mm, I am I don't get enough time to work on my area of
So
work.
what is it like working on the farm? I mean, I have not done that. I've seen many organic farmers now, and I truly appreciate what you're doing and how much you're connected with the land and all that. What is the experience like for you? Is it fulfilling? Is it very different from living in a place like Baroda or Ahmedabad? Or do you have a best of both?
Actually, so in the beginning, we actually stayed at the farm. So whenever we used, so usually the whole week we used to work at the farm from Monday to Saturday, and on Sundays we used to come back to Ahmedabad. So whenever we used to come back to Ahmedabad, we never liked it. Even whenever we used to visit Baroda, we never felt that good as much as the farm. So when you are at the farm, you are really busy working. So that is our workplace, not our farmhouse. That is our workplace. So technically, when you are at the farm, you spend half of the time, you don't know when the whole day is gone, and you are always busy doing some new experiments. So yes, we love staying at the farm, and we now because of the COVID we are here, but we don't like it here that as much as staying at the farm.
And when
And
you
we
say
always
and
even
when you
we
say
miss
here, you mean in the city.
in the
So you
city. Yes,
actually love being on the farm now, full time.
yes, yes. So even in the lockdown, we tried so hard to go to the farm. So we asked few people that when is the police patrolling around, what time they are there, and they told us. And we tried to go at the farm at 4 in the morning and come back at 8 in the morning, so that
Uh,
we can stay at the farm for 2 hours.
uh, so there were restrictions. You could not do farming during
No,
the. And what happened to the crop? What happened to the plants and all that when you were
no,
away?
everything was fine. So we have a really good farm manager and a whole family who stays at the farm only. So they took care of everything, and they were there. So all the farm work was going on at the farm. Everything
Uh,
was well. It was just that we were not able to visit the farm for 2 months.
oh, you could not go
So
back and forth. You could not
yeah,
travel. So
yeah.
once you
No,
chose to,
we actually we were not able to go only
wow, they
to the
just did
farm.
not allow you.
We were in Ahmedabad that time.
Wow, yeah, all the restrictions were in place.
I know.
So, given a choice, I mean, if somebody said, okay, we'll give you an incredible job in Baroda or Ahmedabad full time in art, would you do that?
Never. No. We will give them job instead to stay at the farm with us and work with us.
Well, I'll have to come at least spend a week or two. I would love that, because
Oh yes.
I've been, and after I was actually traveling around small villages, as you know, but
Yes,
once
yes.
COVID struck and I was in Mexico at that time, I've been in front of a computer doing interviews. And I was thinking about it today, like 4 interviews, that's like more than 4 hours on the laptop, plus the editing comes to like 8 hours sometimes in a day.
Oh
And
my
this is
God.
not what I sought out to do. But it's a delight to talk to people about what they do and the kind of holistic lifestyles they have. So I'm going to stop dreaming and I'll probably come on your farm, you and Vivek. So
For sure.
are you back to the farm now, or are you shuttling between the city and the farm now?
We are between the city and the farm because Vivek has work here, and so now me and mom manages the farm. So we visit the farm twice a week, and sometimes thrice also when we have some crop coming up, or some we have to sow something that time in the season, basically.
Wow. And I'm curious, how did the name Brindavan come about? Your name is also Brinda, and I know Brindavan has many more meanings.
I know. So my mother-in-law is a miniature painter. She loves doing, and she's really good at doing pitchways.
Yes.
And we always wanted to name or name our farm Brindan because it's not related to my name. It's related to the real Vrindavan in Mathura. So all the farm sections are also named after the Brindavan's different sections name. Like we have one portion where we have pond. That portion is named Radha Kund. And the place where we are building our house, that portion is called Barsana, which was the name where Radhaji lived. So every section has a different meaning behind it. So that is why we kept the name Vrindavan.
Well, I'm glad that you're building your dream farm and almost like a dream village. Are you happy with it the way it is, or is it a lifelong project?
It is a lifelong project, actually.
It
Yes.
is.
Every day is a new learning for us.
What kind of experiments have you been doing recently on the farm? What
Uh,
kind of
re-
experiments?
so recently, we are doing uh, gray water systems project. So we are converting all the sewage, not sewage water, all the water which comes from the basin and the kitchen. We have dug a pond. We transfer all the water to that pond, and we try to filter that with some plants, which few plants with few plants you can uh, clean the toxics from the water. Few plants roots cleans the toxic from the water. So we are doing gray water system right now. Other project is no till orchard. So we are developing one portion where there is we are we are not digging any, we are not using any equipment to dig till or dig any portion. All the things are done without digging or tilling. All the sowing is done with the hand digging. No tools, we don't use any tools like that. So that is the another project which is going on. It is going on, I mean, it is taking a little bit more time to develop, but now it's all settled. It's been there since a year. We have doing this since a year. So
And I
yes.
also noticed that you all are offering classes or like hands-on workshops. And I mean, I've always wanted to come, but haven't found time yet. It's about time I make time for this. Are you doing that now, or is it still ongoing during COVID, during the
Oh
pandemic?
no, no,
You have to
no,
start
not
with.
now. Actually, we always plan that during winter so people can engage themselves more with the crop, because we have lots of vegetables and greens in the winters.
Yeah.
So and winter has more vegetables, and people can enjoy being outdoors also in winter. So that is the time when we focus to call people at the farm. And this time we also had kids at the farm with their parents. So that was a really good experience for us and for the kids also.
Very
So this
nice.
year also we are planning, because everybody wants us to do that again, because we kept getting calls about that,
So
to do
entire
it
families
again.
came on the farm, huh? Entire
Yes,
family.
yes.
That's very nice. I'm being mindful of your time. You said you have to go to the farm. So I don't want to take
Yes.
up more of your time, but I would love to continue talking to you if and when you're available.
Thank you.
And
Sure. We
is
will keep in
Vivek
touch for sure.
and is Vivek around? I would love to talk to
Yes,
him as well.
he's here only.
Hopefully he has
No,
more
no.
time.
Yes, he's here only.
See you soon.
He'll join you. I have to leave now. So
Sure.
thank you for talking to me, for your time, and please do come at the farm. They were remembering you, seriously.
Yes. We will come. I'll come and I'll dance as well, and I'll bring my
Yes.
friend who is into music. We'll do
Yes,
Garba in
yes.
Vrindavan. Radha Krishna Garba
Yes.
in Vrindavan.
Oh, yes, for sure. You can come in the Navratri season. Actually, we have this special puja during Navratri
Wow,
every
that
year.
would be a perfect time to come. That's like
Yes.
2 months from now, isn't it?
Yes.
September, October, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think October.
Yeah. I will certainly make it with a few friends and family.
Yes.
So see you
Okay.
around, and
See you.
please stay in touch, and please
Yes,
get
for sure.
Vivek to talk to us.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi Vivek, I had an amazing time talking to Brinda, and it's such an amazing thing that you guys decided to first dream this dream of living in a small place, growing a farm, doing activities around it, bringing all your hobbies there. Are you happy with your decision? It's been what, 4 or 5 years now,
Yeah,
right?
I think absolutely. It's more. Yeah, it's been a very nice journey, and we still feel like we're at the beginning of it. So a lot more to come, I think.
I remember we had come for tax consultation with your dad, and of course your mom is my wife's friend, and they were a
Hmm.
little concerned, like these kids are getting into farming, don't know how they'll survive. But I was like, all power to them. If they're doing organic farming, I said, I'll help them in marketing. I wasn't able to help you much. But how has the journey been from a career perspective? Because people are always worried about sustainability, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about, oh, there's never enough money.
Hmm.
How are you able to, how do you see your career from purely from a economic or sustainability perspective?
I think it has turned out quite well. Even though we started with farming, and I think most people know that it's not a very sort of economically lucrative industry. But what it has given us a new sort of a skill set to work with the environment, to work on environmental issues, not just basically do advocacy or talk about it or share posts on Facebook, but actually get on the ground and do some real impactful work. Uh, and we are doing that through we're doing large scale rainwater harvesting projects. We are building organic farms for the people, 10 15 acres at a time. So it has really given us that it has given a boost to us and allowed us to work outside our own little farm and bring the impact outside. So that has also obviously brought us decent economic returns as well. Maybe it's not the same as working at a corporate job or at a having a factory, but it is definitely more than what we had imagined, and it is going on an upward swing. So I think we're doing exactly what we are passionate about, and also making money while doing it.
So you don't need a retirement passion or a hobby on the side. This is it, huh?
Yeah, this is
Your
it.
hobby
I
and
think
your work are the same.
exactly, and our farm is shaping up to be that. Like I think whenever we feel like we want to step out, that place will be sort of ready to host us, fully developed, and all the fruit trees will be yielding, and then maybe we'll transition into doing agriculture full time then. But right now we are sort of between both worlds, and I'm enjoying doing my projects as well for the people.
So I know when you were in the United States, you were there for several years, right? 7, 8
Yeah.
years or more than that.
uh, Almost 10 years. Almost 10 years.
And you studied, you learned many different skills. I don't know if you had planned to come back and do be on a farm, but you learned so many different things.
Yeah.
Are you able to use some of those things now that you're in this environment?
I think absolutely the biggest thing I learned there was always be like to basically to always be wanting to learn new things,
Mhm.
being flexible. So I think what I learned was more of a life skill than like any hard skill, and that is what allows us to sort of keep moving forward.
So essentially, what is often described as the American dream, going and doing your own thing, you're actually doing it here in India, which is amazing.
Kind of. I think that is the looking back. That is the biggest thing I brought back is that spirit of can do, which is I think uniquely. I guess it was American now. It's not there anymore in the US. But I think like if you just take that idea and it's very powerful to believe in yourself, and that is one thing I learned from the US is that if you yourself just believe in it, like things will just start shaping around it. So,
Yeah, and as you said, right now, especially with the pandemic, but even over the last few years,
hmm,
things are changing. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of cynicism. A lot of the millennials are trying to find themselves.
hmm,
Um, Especially with the pandemic, things have really, come to a halt in many areas. Where do you see
hmm,
it going, and how can we inspire people? When I don't see much slowdown. Of course, you also were restricted from coming to
hmm.
the farm. That's what Brinda was saying. But
Yeah,
given a chance, you're back again full swing.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
urban jobs are all slowed down. Many companies have either slowed down or have shut down. So
Mhm.
there's much turmoil in corporate America or corporate India or corporate anywhere, So where do you see the whole world going towards? What's your take on it? What should people do?
I personally, like, that's what I think is the world is going towards more people, more skilled people doing their own thing, offering themselves as a service, or they're off like instead of working at a job. I think I'm seeing more and more of smaller entrepreneurs working together on specific projects and accomplishing things instead of this big top-down hierarchy of things. So I feel like, and I also see a lot of young people doing their own enterprises. So I feel that is definitely the future. Is a lot more people having a lot more enterprises instead of lot of people working at a job or doing something like that.
So are you saying there'll be more growth in the small to medium scale or artists doing their own thing and things like
I
that?
think that should be. I think that should be because it does create. It does create a. I think it's more enjoyable that way also, and it's spreading the prosperity around because a lot of people are doing first of all what they want to do, and they're creating economic impact for themselves.
Yeah, and
And
definitely in my case, that's what happened. I went to the
yeah,
US thinking of doing, working for the big companies, the
yeah.
IBMs and the Intels, but
Hmm.
the environment was so positive, especially in
Hmm.
favor of doing things on your own,
Hmm.
that about half my career I was in technology, electronics, and
Yeah,
software, and another half in biotech. And now I'm doing what I really enjoy doing, apart
yeah,
from or in addition to technology, which is
yeah.
talking to people, sharing things, camps, leadership, and all that stuff. So you jumped into it much earlier. Did you find a
Hmm.
lot of resistance when you were starting? Did you find a lot of skepticism?
Uh, Actually, we never really looked around for any inspiration, so uh, we just knew. Like I think it's that thing of having the passion is so blinding that you're not really looking for affirmation from outside. So we were just kind of headstrong about it. So I think I don't know if there was resistance or there was no resistance. We didn't really pay attention to that, and I think maybe that is what has allowed us to just focus on our thing.
I felt
And
when I met you and Brinda, you were so
yeah,
clear about what you wanted to do. I
yeah,
would use the word heart strong rather than headstrong. Your head and heart
or
were
something.
totally
Yeah,
aligned.
yeah.
There was no difference between what you had a passion, but you also had that
Mm-hmm.
clarity on how it would be sustainable. So
Yeah.
I remember you talking about not only doing the farming, but advocating natural farming or organic farming to your neighbors. Has that started to happen? Are others looking at that?
I think people are starting to look at it, especially our farm now that it's listed on Google Maps. A lot of people just show up to learn more about it. So our whole approach has been to just keep our mouth shut and keep our hands working. Like we don't tell anyone directly, or we don't try to push them to look at what we're doing. Uh, what has been is just for the urban audience, we are publishing things on social media, and that has been driving a lot of foot traffic at the farm, which is surprising to us. People are actually making the effort to go visit the person, like the farm in person, and even the neighbors around. We've been very clear from day one that we're not going to force anyone to do anything. We're not even going to tell them if they want to come and see. It's open to see. And now they are like, there has been like that molecular movement. They are now saying maybe there is something in this. So maybe in the next year or two, they will want to start working with us. But it's on their terms. We're not.
That's wonderful.
Our idea
That's
is,
wonderful.
yeah, our idea has been very clear from the first day. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. Whoever is interested can just kind of come join us. And I feel like that is the path of least resistance.
Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, many people like me who live in,
Hmm.
at least I don't live in the metros anymore. I'm in
Hmm.
smaller towns like Baroda. But Baroda is
Yeah,
not small anymore. With the
yeah.
Baroda metro area has more than 20 lakhs or 2 million people. So it's as
Hmm.
big as San Jose plus San Francisco, in terms
Yeah,
of population. So
yeah.
people like me continue to dream about living in villages.
Hmm.
Do you have any advice for us? How should we get started? Because a lot of my work is with people, and
Hmm.
my concern, and this may be a false concern. My concern is that people won't show up in small villages or in smaller towns, and they're happier in the big cities. I'm talking about the urban population. Of course, I can meet the village population in villages, but
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
I think people will show up as long as it has to be sort of little convenient for them to show up. That's the one thing we learned. If Vrindavan was maybe 6 hours away from the city, we probably wouldn't even have half the people coming and visiting us. So it sort of has to fit in the flow of people's lives, for them to show up. And personally felt like, yeah, as Brinda said, we lived around the farm for about a year and a half, and I personally felt a little more challenging living there, acclimatizing there, uh, because at the end of the workday there was sort of nothing. Like, I think the urban life, there is something always going on. There's something after the work, after the workday. So we just felt a little, not lonely, but just like alone. And maybe part of me feels more comfortable between both, or like shuttling between both, because obviously having lived in Silicon Valley and San Francisco, where life is like 24/7, coming to Ahmedabad, where still things are like hectic. But I personally enjoy being part of both,
So you can shuttle
and that is,
between.
yeah, and that is a flexibility we get as entrepreneurs or as people who want to do their own thing, is to exactly decide how much we're going to work, how much we're going to play, what we're going to do. So I think maybe the future is between both. It's always in the gray. For me, it's always in the gray area.
So gray water, gray area, or maybe
Everything
rainbows,
is
right?
gray.
Between black and
Yeah,
white, you have all the spectrum of the rainbow.
yeah. I think like the future is, personally for me, I try to break down boundaries, because the more rigid they are, the harder it is to adjust. So just things should be flexible.
That reminds me, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You grew up in Ahmedabad and Brinda grew up in Baroda. Baroda
Hmm.
also has about 2 million people now. And Ahmedabad is a large city with almost like 10 million people in that range somewhere.
Yeah.
When you came to the smaller village,
Hmm.
Chaklasi, you may have
Hmm.
been open-minded, but how about people around you? What is the acceptance like? Did they see a city
Uh,
people coming in and, city, there's a division between city and village, or how did you break that boundary?
I think it was not so much of a problem for us, because, as I said before, like we were never imposing on other people of our ideas. We just maintain this image that we were just here to do our thing. And so there was not a question of we're not going to cooperate or we're going to demand something from you or something like that. So I think we personally kept ourselves very approachable and not having that idea, like, there is this thing, when, especially when people come from cities across the world, is that we know more than you kind of approach. And we didn't have that. We always felt like there was something to learn from everyone, even though they may not be doing our style of farming, but they may be doing a certain technique, or they may be doing a certain way of farming, or they may be cultivating a certain crop in a certain season that we are not able to get. So things like those. So I think we maintain very clear communication between us, especially our neighbors and people around us. So there was a fair degree of acceptance towards us.
That's true. I recall when I've gone to small villages in India, every single time, initially I used to go with the idea that I'm going to teach them something, and I ended up
Yeah.
learning more, whether
Yeah.
it was about the soil there, the plants there, the animals there. Some people, even little children knew, oh, it's going to rain now, and it's going to rain, and the rain is going to come from here. Or
Hmm.
now you're going to hear the animals, they're making all the sounds and the birds, which means this is going to happen. This is now the time when the flowering it's going to start. They knew so much more than any one of us in the city knew. So it made me really humble. So I guess you went prepared with that understanding that you're going to learn, and that really is an amazing thing. So what about future dreams? What do you think? Do you have any plans going forward? What you want to do? Anything different or more than what you're doing now?
I mean, I am a little ambitious of sorts. So yes, there is. I definitely want my this career path to keep progressing. Being involved on the ground level with environmental issues, and be working on environmental projects more and more. So that is personally what I am foreseeing in the next at least 5 to 10 years. Is I get to work on more projects, and the same idea continues, that we learn more from every project than what we give. And my whole theory is that I'm like, probably until the day I die, I'm going to learn new things, but in the thing that I'm interested in. So I personally am interested in the environment, in
And
ecosystems and stuff like that. So idea is basically work and play, and then make some money while doing it.
that's very nice. How receptive have the local governments, state government, or the national government been to what you're demonstrating, the need for natural farming, uh, changes to environmental laws, or maybe stricter controls? How open are they? Are they listening? Are you listening to them?
Actually, we haven't really reached out. As I said, like, once again, our style is just to keep doing. Whenever time is right, whenever conditions are right, things will tilt. Uh, until then, we just do what we do. I think.
Uh-huh.
Our main interest is people are invested in this. People we know, or people even we don't know, they are reaching out to us with proposals to develop their farms for them, farmhouses for them. So I think I now I'm strongly more and more believing that in that molecular theory, like, the molecules are to shake, and then the next molecule will shake, and then
It's like
something like that.
resonance. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
whole.
So I just want to be that molecule that just keeps shaking,
Yeah,
regardless of if the next molecule is shaking or not.
I'm so
And that has been
glad
my
you're
focus.
doing all these things. And at least for a week, I'm going to jump into a farm and get my hands dirty, or rather, get my hands clean. I've been in the city for too long now.
Yeah,
Because of the pandemic, I haven't been able to visit smaller towns yet. I think the restrictions have been lifted now, right? I'm allowed
yeah.
to visit the farm.
I think so. I think mostly everything is now open, so anyone can come and go.
Do you have to do social distancing on the farm, or do you have to do any?
I mean, there are no one has to do anything, but we just still recommend for everyone's safety that people just maintain uh, good distance and good hygiene.
I will definitely join you guys soon. And do you have any recommendations on how, if somebody wants to transition
Mhm.
from an urban lifestyle towards yours, of course, I will recommend that they find you. And what's the best way to reach you?
They can just reach out through our Facebook page. They can just send us a message, sort of describing what they want to do, and then how best we can help them. The more specific they can be, the better it is for us to reach out. I think that's the best way, because we've been getting a lot of requests, mostly on Facebook, and of course through personal recommendation is also fine. They can just find a number through you and then get in touch with us directly.
Well, I'm really, really glad that you created your own paradise in the villages of India, rather than going west. The whole world seems to be going west sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you have come back to the soil, and I've come halfway. I've come close, but not yet there. I'm still in the towns, and I look forward to meeting you. And maybe we'll do workshops from the farm if that's of interest to you all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this winter we're looking forward to some engagement with people. So we'll figure something out.
Yeah, because people always like the idea. It's very romantic, but timing has been a challenge, and then came the pandemic. But I think more and more people are seeing the value of being out of the city. The
Yeah.
pandemic has reminded people that nature is really beautiful. We can actually see blue
Mhm.
skies in Baroda now, which we hadn't seen
Yes.
in 10 years. We can see
Absolutely.
exotic birds and animals, a lot of peacocks, which we hadn't
Mhm.
seen much of. So things
Mhm.
are actually reversing on their own.
Yes.
Well, do you have any words as we close this session? And or maybe we'll just invite people to come join you at the farm.
I think that's perfect. That's better. Let's meet people at the farm.
Well, we will announce if we have any kind of a mini workshop or something like that. Besides learning natural and organic farming or permaculture, we could even talk about personal leadership. How do you actually create a creative leadership? How can you be creative on your
Mhm.
own or in a farm rather than thinking about going to the next entertainment program or
Yeah.
finding another thing, which is what stops many of us from living in
Yeah.
a smaller place. So thank
Exactly.
you
Or
all
even like,
again. Yeah,
yeah.
please go
Or
ahead.
just to add to what you're saying, or even like running after another job promotion.
Yes,
Something.
yes,
Yeah. Like, can we be free of that and think outside of that? Maybe.
exactly. And in fact, I have many friends who actually stopped working in the corporations and in the large industrial settings, but they are
Mhm.
still finding it challenging to come and live in a village. I think I'm going to recommend they come and meet with you and see.
Yeah, I think good thing would be to start just visiting people in smaller areas, spending some time. Then it may be a 10-year process. I'm not saying it has to happen overnight. It may not even happen. But
Yeah.
even just developing that comfort, spending it even a little time is important. You don't have to spend all your time there, but whenever you are there, if you can be comfortable there, nothing like it.
Well, thanks again. And for those who are watching, you know where to find us, and we look forward to it. If there's more developments, maybe we could even do a short workshop online on YouTube, on Zoom. What do you think?
Yeah,
We could, I mean,
absolutely.
ideally, we want to be on the farm. There's no question about that. But if
Yeah.
people find it difficult to leave the big cities, some of which are
Mhm.
still in lockdown, then we could
Mhm.
do a little thing online.
Absolutely.
So stay in touch, and maybe if I get tempted, I will slowly back out of doing things online and be there on the ground with you.
Sounds great.
Sounds great. See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.